now for our book, we are discussing the book For Men Only by Shaunti Feldhahn and her husband, Jeff. And this, like I said, this book helped me so much with pursuing my wife. It helped me understand her better. It helped me have the confidence to go after her when I had like none of the budget that her previous suitors had, and none of the looks or the acclaim or national recognition that most of the people who had gone after her had. So I was like, what do I have? I drive this old Tamarao FX. I'm a pastor in our church. I don't think, I have a lot to offer. But reading this book and listening to it in audiobook really helped me to realize, okay, I think I've got something to give. Now, before I get any further, I really don't recommend that women read this book. Just like I don't recommend men read the other book, For Women Only. These are books written by a couple to it's a guide for men for how women think, and for women for how men think. The reason why I don't recommend it is, it's up to you. You can if you want to. But the reason why I didn't read the other version is I felt like it would create expectation in me. Now, look at me. This is all the effort and all the research I'm doing to loving you. Now, you should read your counterpart and do the same for me. That's not helpful. Expectations don't breed grace in relationships. They don't breed gratitude and love in relationships. They actually breed disappointment. So, I've seen a number of times where someone will address men in church and saying, men, you should be this way. And then the majority of replies will be women going, diba? Kayong mga lalaki, ganun. That's not helpful. That's just not helpful. All right? It's not helpful to the men, and it doesn't I don't know how it helped the woman either by being that way. Maybe made her more difficult or just hard to be around. So that's why. Now, if you don't think that danger applies to you, then great, then go ahead and read it. I want to talk about why it helped me though. The structure of the book is it's like insights drawn from a data-driven survey of like 1,000 women. So it's like different women and then just different data and insights they have. And these were the things that helped me. And so my routine would look like this. I would take out my wife for a date. At that time we weren't dating. I would take her out for a date, and then I would drop her off. And then on the long drive home, I'm listening to the book on audiobook, and it's like, oh gosh, it's giving me a lot of hope. Here are the things that I want to say that are really worth reading. Number one, for men, your character matters a lot more than you realize. Your character, the way you act, the way you treat other people, the way you respond in conflict matters a lot more than you realize. Which means, if you're banking on things like money or acclaim or like a big social media presence, that's not as helpful as having the right character. On the other hand, if you're someone who doesn't think you have a lot of the other stuff, the clout, the looks, but your character is solid, then that counts for a lot. The thing is though, people are looking at these external factors as ways to determine how much of this points back to your character. So maybe, yun nga, diba, parang you don't do well at work. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if it's because of your character, then it will be a bad sign. A few things that help me. Number one, women have concerns, and expecting them to just go away or telling them to put them away rarely helps. And so a lot of the respondents in the survey and in the focus groups afterwards would say that one of the most unhelpful things that their boyfriend or their husbands would do was when the woman has a concern, they're like, just put it away, let's just focus on this now. That doesn't help. And they use the illustration of like a computer screen with a lot of windows popping up all the time. And so knowing that kind of helped me, because it used to drive me nuts, because that's not how my mind works. I kind of have just one window open and I'm on that mode, So when I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm with my wife, I'm with my wife. I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a movie. I don't watch a movie and think, how are the kids? That rarely happens to me. But with her, it happened a lot. And so instead of trying to like, why are these things popping up in your head? Instead, acknowledging that they're there and being ready to help her to either close it, to shut it down, maybe take advantage and then go ahead. If you know this is going to be a concern, you do something about it. Don't do this, what they call on TikTok, weaponized incompetence, where I don't know where things are located, I don't know where things are done. Well, you're just making more windows opening up in her head because you're not helping. So she's not crazy for having that. She just has a totally different perspective. Maybe this might help those of us who are already married, right? Husbands who want to have some physical intimacy with their wife, and they're annoyed that because as a husband, I'm so ready to go at any time, but she's concerned, how about the kids? How about this? How about that? You know what? Instead of expecting her to just ignore these flashing alarms in her head, help her turn them off. Get the kids settled. Wash the dishes. Make sure that the clothes are ready for tomorrow or that the itinerary for the trip is settled. You know what? She'll be much more responsive because they really do have this different perspective. That helped me. Second thing that helped me is to always be assuring her or securing her in your love and commitment. Always be doing that. And this starts out from the moment of pursuit. Too often, the idea of pursuit is handled like a game. Like balls in your court, balls in my court. And so many men I've seen are afraid to risk too big because they're afraid of being rejected. I get it, all right? It feels painful to be rejected. I was afraid of being rejected. I would have panic attacks. I had one major one when I contemplated pursuing her because I'm like, what if I get rejected? This is like going to be a very painful rejection. That being said, when men play it safe and when we hold back, we're already not securing them in our love and our commitment. Instead, it would be much better if you're sure you want to pursue someone, just go for it. Just take the shot. Win big, lose big. If you're going to fall flat on your face. It is much better, far better, for a man to try and fail than for a man to play it safe and do those things that I didn't like her naman talaga. Siya naman may good. You know what I mean? It's just a turn off. And it's not good for our soul as men to be that way. We need to secure, and part of that is going big. And if you lose, then you lose. Either you like her or you don't. Don't play games. Don't play games like flirt with one person, then another person. What is that? That doesn't help. All right? Figure yourself out, then go for the one you want to go for. And when you're already in a relationship with that person, always be assuring that person. Always. Little touches here and there. Hi, how are you? Hey, just checking in on you. Some of us might say, well, I'm not that kind of person. That's not my personality. I don't have friendships like that do that. Well, figure it out. I didn't have friendships like that either. I grew up with a family of three boys. We were three brothers. So women were just like a foreign, creature to us. I remember one time I was joking with my friends and I said, you know what, if I ever get a girlfriend, I'm not going to do what guys do when they talk and they're so sweet with the girl. And they're like, hi, how are you? Like, who talks that way? I'm going to talk the way I normally talk, and she's going to adjust to me. Famous last words. So we were going out and I'm doing the whole sweet talk thing. Then a friend of mine reminded me, like, remember you said you would do that? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I will do that. And we were together and then she called and we were dating. And then I said, oh, bakit? And she goes, galit ka? No, lovey. Like so easily that I abandoned that resolution. My point is, always be assuring. Always be assuring. Don't do stupid things that trigger their insecurity. Don't flirt with other girls. Don't give a hint of walking away. If you're sure you want to be with a person, then keep pursuing. Don't make it a case of, well, I don't know if we're going to make it. But don't do that. If you want to be with her, be with her. You're going to stress yourself out. Even if you have to step away. You're in a fight. Maybe you're getting overwhelmed with her. You need a break. One of the things that they said is when the guy pulls away like that, the woman is like, oh, God, I really don't know. The book talks about it. And they said one thing, because the man asked, what if I need a break? What if I really need to get work done? What if I really am busy? I can't just drop everything and run to you whenever you feel bad. And the women in the focus group said, you know what? If he would just indicate that we're good and he will come back, that makes a world of a difference. If you say, I can't talk about this now, I've got to go deal with this. I understand you're upset, but we will talk about this later. And I want you to know that your concerns are very important to me. Then you can go. You can go to work. You can do whatever you need to do. You can hang out with your friends and then come back and make it up to her. But that's a world of a difference from just silent treatment, playing games. She doesn't know. She's guessing. She's going to have to think of herself. She's going to protect herself, and then now she's shielding her heart from you. You want her heart open? Assure her. Always be securing her. Got that from the book. Super great book. Last one, and this is probably the one I've shared the most with other people. It's talking about securing her. Let's talk about financial security. So many men, this is their insecurity. This was my massive insecurity, right? Until now, she makes more money than me. So the thought of like, how could she love me if I don't, make more money than her? I can't give her what other suitors gave her, the level of gifts and trips and like just the luxuries that they gave her. Or even now that we're married, how can I lead this family? How can I be the head of this home if I don't make more money? The book clarifies that by showing that when a woman is looking for financial security, for the most part, if she's a character, a high character woman, not a gold digger, okay? A gold digger is a bottomless pit, a black hole. No amount of finances will help. But for the vast majority of women, if they have good character, security, financial security really means emotional financial security. Emotional financial security. And emotional financial security is not an amount of money in the bank. It's not a monthly income. It's not a lifestyle. Emotional monthly security comes from your character as a man, our character as men. If she looks at the man and sees he's willing to sacrifice and work hard and give up stuff that he wants, his preferences, to do what's best for the family, to keep the family alive, to help the family, that is financial security. Does that make sense? So imagine with me a rich heir who doesn't know how to work, who doesn't know how to sacrifice, who doesn't know how to budget. That is not as securing, even though they're rich. Because that woman will always be wondering, okay, that's his dad's money, that's his lola's money. What if kaming dalawa na lang, kaya pa ba niya? On the other hand, think of someone who's not that wealthy, but will sacrifice, will work hard, shows it already, is willing to budget on those things. That assures her. Because kung magkasakit kami, kung magka-problema kami, this person will be good for it. In fact, one example is in our marriage, my wife, when I was overspending, was not assured. But when we lived in a budget, and we ate only in the cheapest food courts we could afford, unless we cooked at home, which was like just canned food all the time, that assured her. She was so physically affectionate, sweet. Why? Because she could see this guy is willing to do this to secure us. So, hopefully that's good news to a lot of men to realize, baka kaya mo pala. Maybe that girl isn't so impossible to go for. Maybe you don't need to be CEO of your own company before you go for her. Maybe going through life situations together will actually be a milestone for your relationship. So that's the book For Men Only by Jeff and Shaunti Feldhahn. Yeah, highly recommend it for men. I hope this was helpful for you. If you want to continue the discussion and conversation, join us in the Telegram group. The link is in the description and on the screen if it's a video you're watching. Also, some of you have expressed interest in support, that would be really helpful because I'm just paying for this from my own pocket. We do have this link. It's in the description, but we'll add to it along the way because some people have said they've had problems with that link. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us reach other people to whom this would be relevant to. So thanks for that.